Hello, hello, and welcome back to the 5 Foot Strong podcast. I'm your host, Jessica Gerlock. I hope you are having a great week this week because we have an awesome guest here. He really followed his passion and is authentically himself. Artist AJ Hebert discovered his passion for painting and drawing at a young age, and his artistic journey began when he sketched in his mother's Barbie doll box, creating a rendition of Mickey Mouse that was so impressive he escaped any punishment. Later on in life, AJ pursued an art degree in college, although he felt like the education he was receiving was more of a fostering a way of thinking rather than teaching specific techniques which he largely learned on his own. To the outside world, AJ may appear to have a tough exterior, but he emphasizes the importance of authenticity, encouraging others to recognize their true selves. He even said he draws to feel normal. It's the only thing that feels natural to him when he creates. It's a Zen-like meditative experience that creates all of life's troubles fade away. So without further ado, please let's welcome AJ Hebert to the 5 Foot Strong podcast. Hello, AJ. How are you today?
Hi, guys. How y'all doing today?
Thank you so much for coming on. So I want to ask you the question that I ask all the guests is, what does being strong mean to you?
Well, it means a lot different than it used to mean. It used to mean just if you can beat someone up, you're strong, right?
Yeah.
Now I've learned through age and I guess I think you call it wisdom
Yeah.
that not fighting, not being violent when in terms of in the time of when you need to just turning the other cheek now is more stronger to me than actual physicality.
Well, now it's coming up. We're getting smarter a little bit. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe about
Mhm.
me, or I don't know about you. So I want to go back to the beginning. And I said about your mother's Barbie doll box. Can you give me the story a little bit?
Oh, there's a couple of stories like that. But, my mom had this. I don't know. Back in the '60s, they had Barbie dolls came in this like patent leather, nice box case that all the clothes come in and stuff like that. I don't think they have that anymore, but
Yeah.
it was nice. So like I opened it up and I drew a Mickey Mouse in it. And instead of getting my butt beat, they were like, "Oh my God, look how nice it looks!" So I didn't get in trouble. And in fourth grade, the same thing happened. We were supposed to be doing math, and I was in Mr. Roberts' class, and I was drawing him instead. So he slammed his hand down on the table, and he goes, "Give me that, and I want to see your parents after school." And I'm like, "Oh my God!" So like I'm about to cry, thinking I'm going to get killed again. And so my mom and my dad have to go to school after work, and he goes, "Your son was supposed to be doing this math, with the class, and he was drawing me instead." And he slammed the paper on the table, and he goes, "It looks just like me. Congratulations!" And I was like, "Oh my God." Thank
So,
God that happened.
so when did you pick up the pencil? Like, when did you, was it from a young age that you realized you had an ability?
It's before I can even remember.
Yeah. Were
Yeah, I
your
just
parents artists? Nothing?
no. I'm the only person that's like this in my whole family. I'm total black sheep in my family. My dad and my brothers are all businessmen, and my mom is does her thing. But like I'm the only one that does this, and I didn't get it from anybody. I don't know. I guess
But you
God
have an
just said, "Okay,
ability. You have a
yeah."
strength. This is your
Yeah, he was like,
strength.
"This is what you're going to be stuck with." Bam, and that's what you have to do. I don't. Personally, I don't probably think I would have chosen to do this. It's
Yeah.
gotten. I got downloaded with it, and you're like, "Okay, this is what you're going to do for the rest of your life."
Well, you know what? So when you picked up that pencil, you felt like, some people build like rocket ships or whatever, like, back in the day, or play video games or whatever it may be. Like, you picked up that pencil and that was your escapism, kind of.
Yeah, it just like someone that's really good musician. They just pick up the guitar and start talking to you and playing, and you're like, how do you do this? And that's what
Yeah.
I do with drawing. I can sit there and I can be painting and talking to you right now.
But that's amazing. So,
It's the only thing that just comes natural, just comes out, and you
right.
can't explain it.
So you get your feelings and your emotions out in art.
Yeah, oh, yeah, it's Also, I get it with jogging and stuff, but like when it's almost like meditative.
Yeah.
You can get downloads and you can come up with ideas when you're doing that.
Yeah, that kind of zoning out kind of,
Mhm. Totally zoning out.
yeah,
Yeah.
that focusing on yourself. So then you went to how long was your experience in like art college?
How long?
Yeah.
I went 3 terms.
Okay.
Bush, Clinton, and Bush.
Okay.
No, I mean I had to pay for my own college, so like I waited tables and stuff like that. So I went a semester, took off a semester, went a semester. So it took me 9 or 10 years to graduate.
Well, it's great that you explored that passion because it could have probably been easier to go in a different route,
Hmm.
you know,
Yeah, and
and
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't get along with any of the professors. Except for one or two that I really, Elmore Morgan was over there, and he's a pretty famous artist, and he kind of mentored me. But all the other ones were kind of just here. You need to think out. You need to think like this, and you need to be like a hippie. And I was like, no, I'm gonna be me. I don't have to be something else that you're teaching me to be. I just want you to teach me how to draw and how to mix colors. That's all I need. And so I really learned how to do most of that stuff, looking it up on YouTube and having personal breakthroughs.
well, it's interesting you say that because, you know, I was going to say you're not the average artist, you
No,
know? Right. And even just talking to you this little bit, I can tell like you're not the hippy dippy type, you know?
no.
And so that makes you authentic to yourself. And the great thing to me is that you're really truly living your authentic life, right? This is what you were supposed to do,
Supposed to do. Exactly right.
and to like, for me, I had to go through life journeys to figure out that, I was supposed to be in the fitness industry. I was supposed to, help people live their best life and be more positive and, explore their passions. Before I was a graphic designer. So I have a little bit of the art sense, but I'd never had that ability that you do have. Right. And as you said before, you're as a musician too, like when it becomes that art, you're either born with it or you're not. You know,
Right. Right.
I could
You
try
can you,
all the
you
time.
can you can learn it. I mean, I can teach people how to draw. It's just going to take them longer to do something. It's just some people, if they got it, they got it, and it'll be easy and it'll be quick for them. But and some people, but everybody can do it if you tried and was
Listen, but
taught
everybody
properly.
could draw a stick figure too. And it's about getting to the level that you're at and really exploring that passion and, using it as a way of life. So that's kind of really cool is to the being like, from that little boy who was drawing in his mother's Barbie doll boxes to now that you're still exploring that creative passion is what this is your strength, and that's kind of cool is like every artist also has a unique approach.
Hmm.
So can you talk a little bit about what your unique approach to your art is?
Mine is when I look at something, I try to. It has to be in my mind. It has to look exactly like it.
Right.
Photorealism, I guess you would call it, or more like realism. I can't do caricatures like people. Like people in the street are really good doing caricatures, and they make you look all clowny and cartoony.
Right.
I can't do that. I mean, I'll end up making it look as close as possible, just the way my brain's wired, or comic book or stuff like that. I can't. I got it has to be exact. So I guess you can. My style and my pitch is going to is photorealism.
Yeah. And when you see something, do you automatically create that piece of art in your head?
Oh yeah, I can see people, I can see whatever, and then all of a sudden I'm starting to say, okay, what colors am I going to mix to get this color? And I just like when I was little, we'd be like, "Ooh, like look at that tree. I bet you can climb it, man. That'd be a nice tree to climb." Stuff like that. It's
Yeah.
just the same thing. It's just like you look at it different. You're like, "Oh man, look at that guy's nose. That'd be great to draw." Stuff like that. You got
So you
interesting
look at it
shadows.
like a challenge, kind of.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a challenge to yourself, like, I can do this. And it's
Hmm.
that mindset that, you can, create anything you want to create, basically.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
most of my charcoal drawings are challenges. They're exercises for me, and they're like, "Well, how do you choose that certain person that you're going to draw?" And I'm like, "Well, I'll challenge myself with an emotion one day, like sadness when someone's crying. That's my challenge for that picture, or someone with freckles.
yeah.
That would be another challenge for the next picture, or happy, or someone winking at you, or someone surprised, or someone mad, or so that I challenge myself with something different each time, and that's how I kind of get my ideas to for my
So
pieces.
you're talking about emotions now and capturing emotions. And so how do you think that art has helped capture your emotions in real life?
Well, it doesn't help capture them at all. It helps release them. It's the opposite of capture them. It
But
helps.
you
It
feel it.
helps.
It makes you feel. Like
Right.
if you want to capture sadness, you have to feel that to express it,
Right.
right?
You
Like
do.
you can't be really joyful and then creating this really depressing, photo like unless, you're hired
I
and
mean, you can try, but it's
yeah, it's not
it, it's gonna
authentic.
be it's gonna be more difficult. Yeah.
Like I get it. When it comes from the heart, when it comes to art, that's when the best, pieces come out. I think, as a
Hmm.
creative, because a
It
creative
just
mind doesn't work the same as a normal mindset.
no, not at all.
Yeah.
No, you got to be feeling it, and when you do feel it, it's easier, and it comes off. It just rolls off the brush and the pencil better. It just does. It just flows.
So how
When you
long
got
have you
when
been doing this for
um
as a profession? Yeah.
oh well getting really serious since about probably '09.
Okay.
I've been doing it since I could remember, but
Yeah.
never have I gotten serious about it.
Yeah. But you
I
know
was
what?
pursuing other things, racing motocross, riding motorcycles, playing football, playing rugby,
Yeah.
skateboarding. I just did all that other stuff till I got, old enough to have more patience. One thing that's the biggest thing is the patience level.
Right.
And once I got older and chilled out and I had more patience, then I got serious and I was able to do some pretty nice stuff.
Well, I was gonna say you go from motocross to painting. That's like going
Hmm.
from 100 to 0 real quick, you
Hmm.
know. So
Yeah.
do you feel like you get that same enjoyment from like stuff like that?
100%, 100%. Oh yeah, when you finish a picture that you're really pleased with and it meets or exceeds your expectations, it's just like jumping clearing a triple on a motorcycle and doing a whip.
Yeah.
It's the feeling's the same when
Right.
if you can believe that. Yeah, it's a fit for me.
Well, I was gonna say, so how does being like you are a motorcycle enthusiast, I see by your Harley Davidson
Hmm.
shirt. So how does being a biker and being an artist come together?
Well, it kind of gets you on deck. You can be having the worst day ever, and then you can go ride your bike for a little while, and you're like, okay, this is a little bit better, and then you get home and start painting, and then okay, I just set myself up for a really good painting. It just relaxes you, gets you zen. You can smell the smells. You
Mhm.
can it's not like being in a car. It's totally different, especially when you're traveling. Every 3 or 4 minutes you'll have a different smell, or it'll even drop 10 degrees in temperature if you go through the woods or get out in the open. And it's like flying. It's really cool.
100%. No, I have ridden on a motorcycle before, and I have ridden it. Well, I used to drive convertibles. So there's something about the air in your face and being able to breathe and getting that sense of like grounding. Like,
Hmm.
there's nothing like, and seeing the different colors, you know. as an
Hmm.
artist too, being inside a car is very different than being on a motorcycle. You see these colors and you see the different seasons. Like, well, you have snow right now. I'm sure that's really inspiring you,
Hmm.
but like, you see the white, you see the different changes in the colors, and that, I don't know, to me, I always like that's why I drove a convertible, to get a little bit of outside a little bit more, because there's something that brings you grounded.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, I went to Colorado one time a couple of years ago, and I woke up in Amarillo, Texas, and it was 90 degrees, and I went over Raton Pass on the bike, and I had to stop at a gas station and get some gloves because I wasn't prepared. I was freezing, and I went over the pass. It got warm again. It's just it was the
But
change
to
in temperature was it.
experience seasons, and there's
Hmm.
something about that, and there's something about, the different feelings that you get, and then that's how you express them in your art. You can do, like, you do that realism type of art, it just, I don't know, seeing colors is kind of inspiring, or motivating, and when you
Hmm.
have that creative juice, it kind of you want to express it in some way.
Hmm. Exactly.
Right. So that's really cool. I think, that you being a biker makes you, being a biker slash artist, it makes you, unique and authentically yourself. So I think that's your true strength, AJ. I think that's, really cool. It makes you you. And,
Hmm.
not everybody can say that. Everybody has their unique little strengths, but your strength is, like, that's you're not the typical artist. As I said before, you are authentically yourself, and I think it shows in your art as well.
Thank
So
you.
do you want, before we end here, I just want to ask you, do you have any tips for people who want to maybe explore their passions?
You don't give up on it. It's just like working out. You're in fitness. It's just like
Yeah.
working out. You quit it and you're going to atrophy and you're not, your skills are going to get rusty, but it'll come back if you start working out again. You just got to do it consistently and don't give up
And
on
do
your
what you
dream.
love. Do what
Right.
that's the most important, because that gives true happiness. Is like, you know, I'm sure you're at your happiest when you're doing what you love, either
Oh
on
yeah.
a bike, or, painting a picture.
Yeah. If you
Either
can do
one,
both at
right?
the same time, that'd be awesome.
You
That'd
got
be
to
kind of
figure out
dangerous.
something here. But I get that sense of freedom, that sense of zen, that sense of bringing you back to, giving you patience a little bit again. That you went from an adrenaline now to an artist. You have a motor. You're a motorcycle guy. You like that sense of freedom, of, doing and expressing the way you need to express whatever you have inside of you. So I think that's really cool when it comes to your mental health as well. Before we end, can you give the listeners where they can reach you if they are interested in your story, or if they're interested in your paintings?
Yeah, it's easy. aj.hebert.biker.artist on Instagram, and the art of AJ Hebert on Facebook, and basically AJ Hebert. It's with Cajun, so the last name's French, so
Oh, sorry, I said Hubert. Sorry.
it's spelled Hebert, but it's like Hebert.
So if you talk about like French Canadian, it would be Hubert.
Yeah, they would
Yeah.
they would say it. Yeah, they would say it pretty good.
Thank you so much for coming on the 5 Foot Strong podcast.
Thanks,
I hope you
thanks for having
stay,
me.
I appreciate it. And I hope you stay authentically yourself, and keep, being an inspiration for people to, live their best life, and, explore their passions, because I think that's what's most important.
Yes, it is.
Well,
Thank you so much for having me.
thank you so much. I appreciate it.